If you've ever driven a car, chances are you may have encountered a roundabout at some point. I'm assuming most of you know what a roundabout is, but in case you don't know, a roundabout is a junction where traffic travels in a single direction around a certain route. If you're like most people, you probably didn't enjoy the experience much. Roundabouts slow you down and break up the rhythm of your flow. And Americans see it as a general rule as a detriment to expedient travel. But all of these are false notions. And roundabouts should be implemented more in our cities rather than less, as they're safer, greener, and cheaper alternatives to traditional intersections. According to the Washington State Department of Public Transportation, roundabouts are safer than traditional intersections. Roundabouts reduce injury crashes by 75% at intersections where stop signs and signals were previously used, according to a Federal Highway State Administration study. As another study by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety has found that roundabouts have a 37% reduction in overall collisions, a 90% reduction in fatality collisions, and a 40% reduction in pedestrian collisions. And so why is this? This happens because the driver's view is simplified. Instead of traffic coming from 4 directions, as happens in a regular intersection, it's only coming from one. So you only have to look in that one direction to find and to fully assess the dangers. Well, another benefit of roundabouts is they slow you down by design. Instead of going forward in a straight direction, you have to turn and slow down and keep control. The U.S. Department of Transportation study found that roundabouts in general, the average speed in a roundabout is 20 miles per hour. So drivers can respond to dangers quickly and immediately. But while being safer, roundabouts are also greener. According to a Virginia State study of public transportation, they prevent cars from idling and polluting the air. They also let for constant motion, which reduces the work a car has to expend. According to another study by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety, roundabouts reduce carbon monoxide emissions by 15 to 45%, nitrous oxide emissions by 37%, and CO2 emissions by 23 to 37%. So they are actually one of the easiest ways a city can reduce its greenhouse gases. But while being greener, they're also good for your wallet. Fuel consumption is reduced by 23 to 34%, depending on the model of car you have, or which roughly amounts to 24,000 gallons per year of fuel per roundabout. But they're not also cheap for you, they're also cheap for the city. If a city was to replace, according to another Virginia State Department of Public Transportation study, construction costs are $125,000 less than the average intersection. If a city were to replace the traditional intersection with a roundabout, the reduction of light maintenance and infrastructure maintenance alone would not only pay for itself, but make money. This is because roundabouts only cost $5,000 to $10,000 per year, and which is opposed to the $35,000 per year of traditional intersection costs. And they also don't fail during power outages, which makes the community safer as the police are not forced to guide traffic like what happens in a traditional intersection. But while being great for the community and power outages, they're also great in the community for other reasons as well. Roundabouts offer screen space, so they can be used to display public works of art, and this is apparent in places like Calgary, Orléans, and even our own Bakersfield. The circle in the roundabout can also be used as a green space, as a park, or a neighborhood open space. Example of this being Circle Park in Los Angeles, which serves as a meeting spot for many in the Orthodox Jewish community. But this is all fine and good, but the most common complaint about roundabouts is that they slow down traffic. But this is actually false. Studies by Kansas State University that measured traffic flow before and after a roundabout was construction, they found that traffic goes 20% faster in a roundabout than it does in a traditional intersection. This is because roundabouts lead to an 89% reduction in stops and a 56% reduction in delays. So basically, and this is because you go when there's space, you're not dictated by a light. It's also good for pedestrians as they can go whenever they want to, when there's no cars coming, not when the light is going. And this stigma that Americans have is like people even like roundabouts once they get used to them. You know, after driving them, the opinion of them more than doubles. A study done on driver's view before and after, done by the Transportation Research Center, Bradford, shows this, illustrates this. Before, those in favor of a roundabout was 31%, and those strongly opposed to it was 41%. In a follow-up survey, the people who were in favor of these roundabouts went up to 63%, and those opposed to it only dropped down to 15%. So essentially, a roundabout is something you need to appreciate. The advantages of roundabouts include safety, cost efficiency, and a greener environment. Hopefully, with a better knowledge of roundabouts, we can construct more in our cities. This can add more in the cities and erase the stigma many Americans have of them. This can be, you can also talk to people and explain to them the benefits and the reasons for why roundabouts exist. And hopefully with more implementation, we can have safer, greener, and more cheaper cities in the future. Thank you.